is what you pray for. So it's a beautiful autumn day out today. Again, starts out kind of chilly, sweater weather, as they say, and then now it's getting toasty warm. So I came out to sit by the pool and enjoy the incredible view of our lovely above ground pool and the progress that's being made on the algae farm. Would you like to see it? Let me share. Yes. I mean, it's progress. We are now, it's really more of a light lime sherbet color versus the dark green, forest green, algae, deep parts of the ocean green. So I feel really good about sitting out here and taking it all in, and because this feels very much like something appropriate for my afternoons where I can sit and just I have dreamed of having a pool, of being the lady of leisure who gets to sit outside by a poolside. I didn't exactly picture it like this because you have chronic fatigue and your pool happens to be green. That's okay. It really is okay. I think that's what I am enjoying about this season, and I am finding joy in the season, even if it's not my favorite season that I've ever been through in my life. But who knows, I may look back on this and this will be the favorite season and all the hard will just sort of evaporate. But I am thoroughly enjoying, one, the progress, two, the object lessons that the Lord constantly gives me of that this is what you pray for. It just happens to look different than you had in your mind's eye, and that's okay. Hope that helps. Hope it feels like something that you can relate to. If not, that's okay too. But anyway, thanks. See y'all later. Bye. Hey there. I wanted to share with y'all a story that my mom shared with me, but before I do that, I want to give you a little preface as to how it even came to my mind the other day, because it doesn't come to my mind often. But I was getting ready for an appointment. It's an appointment I look forward to. It's with my therapist, and she's amazing, because she has helped me walk through so much of what I've been experiencing, and from a very godly perspective. But it's one of those days where I'm struggling, but I knew when I got up, I was like, okay, what do I want to wear today? And that's typically how I face my mornings, is thinking through, what do I want to wear? And that isn't because I want to impress anyone or any of the above. It is, sorry, I have my tissue because my eye's leaking today. So as I was trying to decide what I wanted to wear that day, I settled on the skirt. I knew I wanted to wear it's a burgundy leather, vegan leather skirt, but it's wide, it's A-line, it comes in at the waist. It's one of my favorite looks. It's sort of one of my staples of, as I've discovered that I don't need, but I do gravitate towards certain silhouettes. And once I figured that out, I lost a lot of frustration of like, why can't I wear that? And it doesn't make me feel good. It's because it's not the silhouette for me. It's not what I enjoy. But on this day, I pulled the skirt out, and sweet little Annie helped me figure out, like, I was trying on different tops, and we just had some time together, and she sweetly is a sounding board sometimes of like, or yeah, definitely that one. And it wasn't like this isn't an important appointment as far as how I look. It's just how I wanted to feel that day. So as I was getting dressed and I put on that outfit, immediately I thought about the fact that typically after this appointment I run into Wal-Mart. They carry my favorite milk. It's an oat milk, and there's one special kind that's my favorite, and it's kind of hard to find, especially our Kroger doesn't always, well, they carry it, but they don't have it in stock a lot because people like it. It's really good. So knowing that I was going to go by Wal-Mart afterwards, I got tickled in my mind's eye as I thought about every week that I go in that Wal-Mart. And this is no shade on Wal-Mart because, I mean, that was the lifeblood of our hometown once we finally got a Wal-Mart. And my mom worked there until she retired from Wal-Mart. I worked for Wal-Mart Stores Inc. So this is not that kind of story. What the reality is, though, is that as I thought about my outfit, I had on this vegan leather wide burgundy skirt, I think it's beige-ish kind of almost caramel, light caramel colored top, but it has pearls around the neck, very Barbara Bush-esque. But it is exactly how I wanted to feel that day. And I just thought about what people must think when I come in and out of that store dressed the way I am on a Wednesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon every week. So the reason it gets me tickled is because it makes me think about my mom. So I'm out here enjoying a beautiful winter pre-Christmas day and thought I would share this story with y'all because it really will tell you a lot about why I dress the way I do now, who my mom was, and why all of this means so much to me. So as I'm thinking about my mom, the reality was that my sweet mom lived a pretty rough, not pretty rough, a terribly rough childhood. She had a violent father, and her mom they moved around a lot because her father couldn't keep a job, and her mom was usually the sole breadwinner, which was really unusual for that time period in the 1950s. But her mom had gotten a nursing degree and was able to have that stability, which also bought her freedom to be able to get out of that domestic violence situation and be able to earn money on her own, which again was unusual for that time period. All that background to say that when my mom and her two brothers and my grandmother, when they moved away from Blakely, Georgia, which is where both sides of my family, it's kind of like the epicenter for my family line. But they were able to move away from there and away from the violence of that domestic situation with my grandfather, and found just a new sense of freedom, of themselves, all of the above. And there's two things that I remember her telling me about that. And one was that the first day of class, this very young, pretty girl comes up to her. I think my mom was somewhere between 10 and 12. I know that's probably the age range. So preteen, teenage, pubescent, that kind of thing. And this gal comes up to her and says, "Hey, you're new." And my mom's like, "Yeah." But my mom knew that feeling. She was very accustomed to it because they did move around so much. But what came next, she didn't expect. She said that this young girl goes, "My name's Yvonne. You can call me Vickie. All my friends call me Vickie." And I'm probably doing the accent wrong because it's East Tennessee, Western Kentucky accent. But my mom and Vickie hit it off and were incredibly tight and close and great friends from that moment on. Well, there was a school dance that came up, and I don't know if my mom borrowed this dress or if the dress was given to her, or maybe her mom made the dress. I'm not sure. My mom was an incredible seamstress, but I don't think at that age she would have made her own dress. So maybe it was a Cinderella moment. I don't really know. I can't remember. But what I do know is that she wore this dress that came fitted in the waist, very Grace Kelly-esque, and the part that she loved the most, that it had this full crinoline skirt that just, as she said, made her feel beautiful for the first time in her life. She felt like she was not attractive ever, which if you had ever seen her or see photos of her, it is the furthest from the truth. She was beautiful and turned heads when she walked into a room. She had that kind of charisma, but she also just had that inner and outer beauty most of the time. She loved how she felt in that dress, and people noticed, and just it's everything that every young girl wants to feel when you put on that perfect thing that just brings out everything you knew was possible inside of you. That was her experience at that dance. And maybe she had a cute boy ask her to dance. I don't remember that part. I wish she was here that I could ask her, but she's not. She's dancing up in heaven while we're talking. But the rest of that story is what sticks in me in a very tender place. And it is that my mom treasured feeling beautiful so much, and attributed it to that dress, that full skirt, crinoline, I'm sure almost prom-like dress, to the point that Monday morning, come time to go to school, she wore that dress to school. And as you could probably imagine, it was not met with the same admiration and cheers and well wishes and good thoughts that it had at the dance. Because she did this very innocent, naive, but probably socially damaging thing, she was met with laughter, mocking, snickering, finger pointing, confusion. And to be fair to those junior high kids, like, I am sure they were confused. This was not a wealthy area. People didn't dress like that to go to school. And they couldn't see past her mistake for wearing that, for daring to wear that to school, simply because it made her feel so beautiful. And the price to pay for that was her own reputation, her own self-worth, where it had been elevated that weekend, it just plummeted probably to a place that might not have ever been recoverable, if I'm honest. And she was so upset, devastated is the right word. I can still hear and see her face as she's telling me this story, that she got an excuse to leave the room, ran out of the classroom as fast as she could, her words, and found a stairwell and just sat there and sobbed and wanted to rip that dress to shreds, she said, because it had brought her so much disgrace when a split second before that, it had made her feel more beautiful than she had ever felt in her life. A sweet part of this story is that as everybody else is laughing and making fun of my mom, Vickie gets permission, leaves the classroom. So Vickie takes off to find my mom, and she does, and she sits with her on that stairwell, puts her arm around her, embraces her, and says something to the effect of, "Don't you worry about them. Don't you pay no mind of them. They don't mean nothing. They're just a bunch of coal miners." She said, "What do they know?" And my mom just said she just remembers just leaning her head in on Vickie's shoulder, and Vickie just allowed her to cry and be herself, and offered to let her borrow, I think, her gym clothes or something like that to be able to redeem the situation a little bit. And I think about that story, and it has meant so much to me over the years. One, because my mom and Vickie remained best friends till the day my mom passed away. And as special as my mom was, there were seasons in her life where she was not the easiest person to be able to put your arms around, due to the trauma that she experienced as a child. However, the reason I was telling the story is not just about their friendship, which is beautiful, and I have similar situations in my life of women that I've known almost my entire life and I was a newcomer, and they put their arms around me and care for me still to this day. But the reason I was sharing that story is when I thought to myself, oh man, do I really walk into Wal-Mart being dressed? I feel good in this, but do I really walk into Wal-Mart being dressed like this? And it wasn't, a nanosecond in everything in me and the fiber of my being, because my mom had shared that story and others like it. I went, well, yeah, I'm gonna walk into Wal-Mart. I'm gonna wear this. I'm gonna wear the skirt. I'm gonna wear the dress. I'm gonna wear the pants. I'm gonna wear whatever I want to wear that makes me feel as close to beautiful as I can feel. I'm gonna wear it if it makes me feel beautiful. I'm gonna wear it if it makes me feel just a little bit better about myself. I'm gonna wear it especially on days where I can barely get out of bed, but I know I have to, so I have to be somewhere. So I'm gonna crank it up a notch. And that, my friends, is what it's like being Beverly Creel's daughter. That you don't just make lemonade out of lemons, you go on and you figure out how to make lemon icebox pie, because that's even better. That's what it looks and feels like. And so I wanted to share that because as an encouragement, I suppose, that if you are a person who second guesses yourself about what you're gonna wear, even though you feel incredibly beautiful in it, and you're thinking, I don't want to be that kid that everybody points and snickers and thinks, who does she think she is? Why is she wearing that? Doesn't she know this is not where you wear that kind of stuff? Here's the thing. Who made them, God? Who made those rules? Like, I get you don't want to be a social pariah, but dang it, can't we be a little brave now and again? Can't we just be our inner Cinderella self if that's who we are? Or our inner Amelia Earhart, if that's who we are, if we're more of the adventurous look, or Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Wait, Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Yeah, that's it, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. If that's who you are, like if you've got that look rocking, if you love the pulled back, I don't know. But why can't we be those kind of icons in our own neighborhood, in our own small town, in our metropolitan city, whatever it is? Like, I'm sorry, I had a mom who leaned into wanting that feeling, and it devastated her that the people around her couldn't see what she saw, they couldn't feel what she felt, and she let it get into her soul. But she had an encourager, God. She had an encourager to come alongside her and go, don't you pay no mind to them. What do they know? So I'm going to be a Vickie for somebody out there right now who second guesses themselves, who puts the shirt, the skirt, the pants, the dress back in the closet because you just don't want to appear too extra. Come on, really? Like, if we can't be our full extra selves in 2025, is it ever going to happen? And I don't want you to go back and look at pictures and think, why didn't I wear that dress? Like, man, I had the chance and I didn't wear that outfit. And it made me feel so good inside because I was too worried about what other people are going to think. So once again, I no longer care what other people are going to think. I care what I think. I do check it occasionally with my young adult daughter, just because part of it is fun to have that shared experience with her. But it's also because, you do want to check once in a while. But ultimately, I even go against their, thank you, Robin, that was lovely. But every once in a while, I even go against Rob or Annie or Ellie's suggestions simply because I go, no, I know why I'm wearing this, and I know that this is what I like, and this is what I'm going to wear. So, Robin is asking to be lit inside and has drool dripping down the side of her mouth. God love it. So I'm going to go. I hope that for somebody out there, one person, that you can hear me today say, wear the dress. I follow an influencer that I'm going to leave her link below. She's British. She says all the time that's her platform, it's like, wear the dang dress. Wear the clothes. You don't and her story is about her mom as well, that her mom didn't wear the clothes and died with special things all wrapped up and hidden under the bed that she never wore because they were too special to wear out. And it's like, I get that. I get the philosophy of wear the dress, wear the outfit. It's just, life is too short, and have fun. Like, we need to be able to not only feel beautiful, but laugh or express ourselves in a way that is life-giving, because this world we're in can suck the life out of you. So anyway, love y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, darling. Hi. What are you doing? You just wanted to come out here with me? I know. I tell a story about Nana. Yeah, they don't know. Yeah. Hey, what you doing? What you doing? That's a good theory.
I had a bee on me yesterday.
At Costco the other day?
No, he was at a house and he crawled up my finger and tickled me right there.
How do you do that?
How I do what?
Stay so calm when a bee's on your finger.
'Cause he's not gonna hurt me,
Well,
not to hurt him.